Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of the World Tour with Fixxitt, who has abandoned me.
I'm just across the bridge, hiding.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Hey, how's it going? Come on over here, Wells. Let me show you around the world.
So we're picking up pretty much where we left off. Last time we finished up looking at the what did you do? The Temple Day Enderman?
The End Temple. The End Temple.
The End Temple, yeah, that thing.
One of our 3 religions in the world.
And then, this is
called Harrison's Garrison. It's named after my first boy, Harrison. And
okay, cool.
You know, we were talking last episode about excuses to build, and this is a perfect example of one. You know, sometimes people say, "Well, I don't know what to build." Well, so there's an elevation change, right? There's this land over here because this road is headed south. So there's this land over here, and I needed to get up to that land over there. So what do? You know, do you build stairs? Do you build a cliff? What do you build? So instead, I built this island and then a little fort garrison thing and then a higher bridge. And this was a really fast build, so it's not the greatest, most awesome, amazing, unique thing, but it's more interesting than stairs, I think.
Yeah, and it totally gets the job done as well.
Right.
Like that's
and
fantastic.
Then, there's story and stuff, and just so you know where you are in the world, the end is just right. It's just like right over here, so you can kind of see it. If the render distance is far enough, you can see it in the background. It's super. But
another nice thing too is that it's a point of interest, right? So you're never like traveling too far without seeing something that like catches your eye.
Exactly. That's exactly that's kind of the point of this bit of the tour actually is like because we use large biomes and because everything's connected by road in this world, and we have about 25 kingdoms. I mean, of various sizes. Some are hamlets, some are like transformed villages and stuff, but some are huge cities. Huge for me, cities. So it's really hard to not just build a city here and a city there and a flat road. You know, you need stuff along the road. You need interesting things. So if you just follow this road over here, this is our second what do we call this? This is a town. We have different sizes. So like 100 plus people is a town, and this is we think there's probably 100 people that live in this town called Kalahal, which I learned my lesson because I asked viewers to name the city, and they named a whole bunch of things I can't pronounce, and this is the best option that I was left with. So this is Kalahal. This is so you know, I mentioned last time, this is this is like the first vanilla Minecraft I ever played. So I've learned some lessons since building this, but at the time, this was a good snapshot into who I was at that time of a builder, you know? And I never really wanted to change it because even though I would do it differently now, this is a picture of who I was 2 years ago or so. You know?
Yeah, this is a very like traditional Minecraft buildy style.
Yep.
And you can totally see the B-Dubs influence from his spawn town in building with B-Dubs.
Yeah, you can, and that's probably what I was watching then a lot. And you know, it's fine. Like I say, you know, sometimes I get caught by I should go and overhaul. Like, you know, I should overhaul one of these. No, I don't want to do that. I want to leave it as a snapshot of time. You know? But this is like this is a Church of the End. So that will there's a thing in the middle that will teleport you to the end. Over there's a few functional things because we are still early in the game here. I think I started this around episode 50, which please don't watch the early episodes. They're rough.
They always are.
yeah. But you know, we just needed stuff. So there's like small sugarcane farms and small cow farms, just stuff that you need in survival Minecraft, you know. But we came back later and did a custom forest that I think turned out pretty well over here, just outside the castle walls. It's kind of nice. We didn't have access to some stuff, like we didn't have access to Podzol back then, and some things that would help ferns even because we hadn't found a taiga yet. So you know, you did with what you had at that point. But
looks great though. And the nice thing too is you got a lot of like height differential, right? Like
I should.
Like you've got at any given point where you're standing, right? You've got like varying heights along the skyline. Like you've got a tower sticking up here and a factory-looking thing sticking up there, and then another tower here, and then down here it's a little bit lower, and like that does a lot to make an area look like interesting.
It does. I talk about that a lot whenever I'm building about we all know depth when we're building. You build a block and then a block inside that and then block inside that. But vertical depth is something that I think sometimes people forget. Trying to have things above things is really important to make a world look real.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we could maybe check out one interior, which I didn't do. I did. A friend of mine who unfortunately moved on, named Ulrich, did this, and the interior is absolutely mind-blowing to me. I can't do interiors at all, but this house is amazing.
I'm also notoriously terrible at doing interiors, so it'll probably be mind-blowing to me as well. Ooh.
He had a way. This is a huge house, and I would have done just put a in a couple beds. He divided it into all these different layers and levels and hallways, and it's really unbelievable. Even now, I've seen this for 2 years, and even now I look at do this. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is crazy. All sorts of stuff going on.
Yeah, I couldn't. I gotta try to get him back. Right now, his computer can't run, sadly, but hopefully, maybe one day he'll come back to us. But it's back. I get lost in this house every time I show it off. I don't even know how to get out. So I'm kind of following you. I don't know how advisable that is.
I think I've found my way out. Maybe. Here's the Fruity Pebbles carpet entrance thing. Got it.
Good. Awesome. So super cool interiors, and he's done a bunch of in this world where I would build a house and be like, hey man, what you want to go do this?
Please do the interior for me.
Yeah, because he's like, well, if I don't, then what's gonna happen? Then I'm just gonna move on. So
yep.
So this is an interesting thing. A friend of mine named Howard Duck built this. He's a modded player who came over for a little while and built this big square, and then he just kind of got burned out of Minecraft, and he had built just basically a box, and we have a very vague rule that once something's built, you got to keep it, and that's to inspire creativity, So instead of just tear down the box, I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? So I made it into a ruin and then wrote lore that this is where the first settlers lived and said, hey, this is nice, we should live here, and they did.
Nice.
So it's just it's nice to come up with excuses to build interesting things, I think. And then underneath is a little market and the way out to the ship to the next kingdom.
Oh, cool. All right, a little underground market stall. I see. Some of that kind of good stuff. Ooh, comes underneath. Then you got a little forest.
I need to come back eventually and replace all these oak. At the time that I built this, I think our oak that we were using was a lot darker, so I replaced these with spruce, like all the stairs and the trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Give them a little darker touch. Oh, and then the main export of this town is oak. So every town has an export, and this is kind of like the
Gotcha. A little lumber yard over here. I see.
And here is the ship. But I think instead of take the ship, let's just head over this way. We'll take the road. I think there's a couple little hamlets and stuff to show you that are real nearby.
Okay.
So this is called Oak Grove, and this is where the people who cut down the oak trees, the lumberjacks, live. And this is basically, you can obviously tell it's a village.
Yeah, gotcha.
So it's my first time I ever tried to transform a village. It's okay. It's okay. The next one will be better. I started the next one earlier today, but it was a good stab. We'll get better. These blocks up here are jack-o'-lanterns. I think, is that your glowstone? I think it was very similar anyway.
I think it's similar to my glowstone. This is my glowstone was basically the prismarine lamp glowstone, right. But yellow. That was
right.
So this is very similar, although I've now changed that. I basically scrapped it because I wasn't happy with the texture. I'm gonna have to go back and figure out something else, but.
Well, I thought that jack-o'-lanterns are an unusable block, in my opinion, for lighting, so why not just change the texture? So that's
actually a really good idea. I might end up doing something similar myself.
I mean, other than Halloween time, you're not going to be putting jack-o'-lanterns up, I don't think, generally, unless you put an item frame on top or something, but So here's another hamlet, and this is what we were saying about interesting stuff on the road, just to make it so you're not riding on a road for 20 minutes. So remember all the black wool under the end temple? Mm-hmm. Well, this is where it all
came from. Was all the black sheep. Gotcha.
So rather than rather than build a sheep farm with all the different colors, I want to have 16 different hamlets with different wools and all that, just excuses to build. So this is the black one.
So would you say that this is like the black sheep of the world?
Good one. Yeah, I would. That's the black sheep of the world for sure.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. That was a terrible pun. That was like the worst of all puns. But that's what we call low-hanging fruit in the pun world.
Exactly. So yeah, just like here's another little handle. Like we realized we wanted cows, so built a cow farm instead of just having pens. We built like an open pasture sort of cow farm here, just called Dairy. And a friend of mine, Monk, actually built this himself. So
nice.
One of the nice things about playing in a multiplayer world, in a world like this or like Kingdom Craft, is I would have never built this like this. I wouldn't have built the houses like this. I wouldn't use the different colors. But it's so interesting seeing it. It's like, oh, that's really nice. It's cool. It's different than what I would have done, and that's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard when you're playing a single player world to keep your own building style fresh, I find.
Yeah. Some of these, this one here that I'm like standing on top of right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That one looks like a Welsknight build, as does this one a little bit over here as well.
I happen to know that he's a big fan of yours too, so that it's very possibly.
I was like, that looks a lot like my build style right there, which is not a bad thing.
Borrowed style. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. With that said, though, I really like what he did down here at the base to kind of like elevate the house a little bit. You know what I mean? Like get it up kind of almost on stilts.
Yeah, so it's not like not getting waterlogged.
Yeah, that's really clever. I like it.
Yeah, he did a nice job. But I wouldn't have done that, and that's one of the things I love most about playing on a server instead of a single player world is just seeing what people do.
Yep.
So, in season 3, which is starting here next month, it takes place about 25,000 blocks away from where we are right now. So I just finished the road there, which was a chore. Which that was one of the few sort of creative projects. Building a 25,000 block road was a creative job.
Yeah, I imagine.
Everything else obviously is survival, just so it's said. But things like that, I mean, I can't dedicate the next 3 years of my life to building that road. So this is just ruins. I just wanted something interesting that you can kind of see.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is cool.
How's the perspective from the road? You can kind of see it a little bit.
Yeah, I wish it was higher.
I was just gonna say I think it would stand out a bit more if it broke up the skyline a little bit more.
It would, and there's a story behind this. This is where Zombie Pigman and sent some people to blow this thing up. So to kill like the Zombie Pigman invaders and stuff like that, and kind of save Port Bray from invasion. Which, by the way, we're back at Port Bray here,
gotcha.
Where we can take a ship to another place.
Nice. Or the other thing that could make this work a little bit better, perhaps, would be like if there was the runes of like a bridge or something to kind of like draw your eye to it.
You know what? I did that, but it didn't pull off. Which I'm glad you said that, because this is supposed to be ruins of a bridge that kind of fell. But obviously, if you didn't see it, it's not obvious enough. You know what I mean? So I'll have to come in and revisit that a little.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying,
it's hard to tell that it's there when standing.
It's just a little too subtle.
If you're standing right here, right where I am right now, it's really hard to even like notice it.
It is. Yeah, it is, and yeah. Eventually, I'll put it on my to-do list.
There you go.
It's number 9,762. That's barely an exaggeration, just a little bit of one.
Yeah.
So come on over here and I'll show you the banking clan. The banking clan is one of the newer kingdoms that we're working on. So before 1.13 came out and we got all these amazing custom recipes, I wanted to build out of diorite and granite and things like that. But that's not realistic in a big scope, to do. So I set up using structure blocks, a trading system where you can trade any block for some of those blocks, like not for diamonds, not for emeralds, that kind of stuff. But if you take this boat, this will take you to, I I always get teleported in the water just for a second. I don't know why that happens. This takes you to the banking clan. This is a very unfinished kingdom. So the idea is going to be, it's an island, and I want to have palaces all over this island, one for each trade. So this is the Diary Federation.
Oh, cool.
And the only one that we have so far. And this also will be the eventual villager trading hall here. So I'm hoping that I can learn how to do that in 1.14. I'm not going to touch it until then because the overhaul coming.
Yep.
I don't want to do it and then they'll be like, oh yeah, it doesn't work like that anymore.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. I would agree.
Yeah, I'll just wait. So this is brand new. This is like last episode of my series. Just kind of finished this. But let me show you where the trade is. I think it's kind of fun.
Sure. And this lighter stone, I'm assuming, is basically diorite, right? Like this.
Yeah, the white is diorite. Yep.
That's what I thought.
Yep. So in here, so what you would do is basically, if you want diorite, you would come in here and you would fill up this chest with any block, as long as it's completely full. Like it can't be a half stack; it has to be complete stacks. And then when you do that, you'll get a whole chest back of diorite.
Oh, cool.
So it is a 1-to-1 trade, so it's not like, it's kind of cheaty, but it's not too cheaty. It's a little different. There's the trades we have are like diorite, gravel, red sand, red sandstone. If you come up here,
red sandstone would be a good one to have something similar for.
Yeah,
it's miserable to get.
It is miserable, and plus I hate, in a world that is supposed to be my like forever and ever world without ever restarting. I don't want to destroy a landscape because I might want to build there in 5 or 6 years. So this is a red sandstone. And then what I realized after I did this, I realized that I want to have a different palace for each trade. So the other things we have is we have ice, path blocks. Let me think what else. Yeah, again, path blocks is just because of building enormous roads. It's just really nice to be able to actually get path blocks in the game. I can't. Oh, granite, and andesite, of course, yeah. And these ones, I'm not going to finish these because they're going to have their own palace, basically built out of that material.
Gotcha.
Clay too. Clay again, just to not destroy the landscape of every river within 30,000 blocks.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So that's the banking clan for now. I think it was a really fun build, but it's going to be a long-term project to build a palace for each stone. Which, by the way, I don't know if you noticed. I just noticed now. I turned off daylight cycle just for our tours, just so we're not having to sleep constantly.
That's good.
So if someone's watching, it's like, you're a cheater. Yeah, I am. Just right now, though.
And I am lost. So I'm just going to TP to you.
Oh, there we go. Cool. So let's go back out to the boat, and we will head to maybe the best build. No, not maybe the best build on this. This is the main hub of season 2. So in future seasons, what I want to do is basically I'm gonna pick 1 or 2 kingdoms, and that's it. And then we'll work on that for 4, 5, 6 months, and then move on to another season, another fresh start sort of thing. Same world but just different place. So White Sands is the big one for this season, and that's the airship. So let's take the airship.
Alrighty.
We have a few data packs just for a few custom recipes. We have smelt rotten leather into leather, or rotten flesh into leather, and what else? We have the crafting. Those 4 blocks that are creative only. Smooth stone. We have those ones, and I think we've made trapdoors where you get 6 trapdoors instead of 2,
which should totally be a thing, by the way.
Yeah, it's especially because of now with all the different trapdoors, you can build on them a lot more. So this is White Sands. This used to be called Terra Tall. Used to be an elven city when the Nether attacked, and this is kind of this is the betrayal of man. So the elves and dwarves lived here, and the Nether attacked, and man was supposed to come to the rescue, and they didn't. So the elves and dwarves were going to lose to the zombie pigmen. So the elf king cast the spell, which you can see the remnants of up there. And it killed everyone basically. And what it did as a byproduct is it created this crater, which we dug out. And it sent as sort of a byproduct of the spell, it sent everything to the end, which means we're going to build an elven city in the end, which I think is going to be fun.
Oh, nice.
And that's where the elves went. The elves left. The dwarves left. They went underground. They basically left man to their fate. And so then in the 400 years since that happened, man has sort of come here and sort of started living here, and they started building all these things. So this was the first season. 1 was I was the only YouTuber. Season 2, there were about 3 or 4 of us who were recording from here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
At least at first. 1 was Pride Ceratops, who did some of the builds where I am at right now with the casino and stuff like that. It's really, really nice. The style is great. Build a big dragon. Dragon bone of a dead dragon over there. That's super cool.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Criddle Skittles, who's a wonderful builder, came up with this elven style and sort of has dotted elven ruins city from the ancient city, and then the man city is kind of the more sandstone-y sort of look, you know. It's interesting to build in the combination of 2 different palettes in the same city, but I think knowing the lore, it kind of makes it work.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Criddle is not a YouTuber, but should be, because he's amazing. He's an amazing builder, entertaining dude. So over here is something called the River Walk. I think this is I built it, but it's really thanks to Germsy Boy, who did our texture pack, because he came up with these overlays that are just wonderful. And you can see like kind of like I don't know if you call this like Adobe or like Mexican or something, but
I'd call it like Mediterranean.
Mediterranean, yeah. I can see still. I mean, just with the beautiful style, and then these are jungle trapdoors, the wheels.
Oh, okay.
It's actually done with chisel and bits, believe it or not. You can export with chisel and bits, make anything you want, and export it, and it turns into a JSON file now.
Oh, nice.
So it's really cool. So yeah, and then these lanterns are here. I don't know if you saw them in the End City, but they're really nice for atmosphere, and don't go in these houses because it's literally 1 block of space and then a sandstone wall. I think. Oh, maybe you found the one. Yeah,
I found the one that's not true of, it appears.
I mean, they're all beautifully finished, just like this. Yes. Yeah, just like that. Yeah. So and then let's see. Over here is a palace.
Oh, this is beautiful.
I'd never built a palace before, so I kind of did some Google Images searching and kind of looked and so I kind of came up with this, and I think it kind of works. You know, then the aquarium for the I wanted to use coral somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Each of these different areas has their own sort of crime boss, if you will, or something like not crime boss. That's the wrong word, but like this is an independent kingdom, so you know the law is loose in this area. So there's a lot of betting and gambling and all that kind of stuff. So you saw the casino. This is an ice boat racetrack here, which needs slime block launchers still, but eventually we'll get them. And then it goes a long way. And if we just follow it, I'll show you the Dwarven area.
Ooh.
So these are Dwarven Ruins. This is the Dwarven kind of embassies area. That after the dwarves and elves fought for a long time. In this world, there are no dwarves and elves. They all left. So it's all man now, but you find a lot of ruins from back in the old days.
I see.
So this is a Dwarven embassy here that was taken out by the explosion, clearly. And yeah, here's the finish line for the ice boat racetrack. A fellow named I do not know a name built these grandstands and did such a fine job at this.
Yeah, those are nice. Here. I like them.
This is a building where he left the server a little bit ago and left kind of a half constructed building. So I came back in and put a bunch of scaffolding and blocks and made it look like it's literally under construction, because it is, and it made it look like it's at least something rather than just a half done building.
Yeah.
And this is the whole reason for this. This is our ink farm, which you may recognize actually. I mean, not the exterior, but as far as how the ink farm works, and it works fine.
Which one are we? Where are we looking?
This elven building right here. Down. I think I have it currently turned off because I have more ink than I'll ever use in my life already, and so save the lag.
Let's see which one it is. Is this the one that I designed?
I think it is.
This is totally the one that I designed.
I think it was. Yeah, I looked at your redstone and where things are and everything. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Actually, yeah, this one is broken now.
Was it because of where the spawning only on rivers?
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, they came out with that like days before I was about to build this. So
you're actually in. This is actually all considered.
And then I filled in the river with white sand.
River.
Yeah.
River. Well, this corner's desert.
Yeah, it's not perfect. It's the biggest river crook I could find. So
yeah,
at least in this area, you know.
Well, nice.
But yeah, it works. And you know, we just needed. I needed ink just for building purposes, and I think that probably we're good for pretty much ever now on ink. We have several double chests full. Here, I just need jack-o'-lanterns, a lot of them, to light up things. So I just, you know, again, an excuse, you know, came up with the excuse of building a pumpkin patch. And I'll tell you, I'm going to redo this now because Mythical Sausage did a video on a pumpkin patch that is so inspirational. And I'm gonna take some ideas from that and kind of fill this in with some other things. But I think it looks okay for now.
Nice.
I just wanted a tower here. Literally, I just used for something to look at while you're on the ice boat racetrack.
Okay.
This is an ancient dwarven tower that the idea is it's an ice farm. This isn't functional because we have an ice farm already.
Mm-hmm.
This is just for looks. And the idea is that they would fill this with water, tell all the chains up, let it freeze, and then put the chains back down to harvest the water. Take it off on those tracks. And just kind of came up with something that is kind of interesting to see as you're zipping around the ice boat racetrack.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And and some dwarven ruins over here. I think you know, it's just fine. None of them have interior. Just eye candy for the ice boat racetrack.
Eye candy is always important.
So I think that's pretty much it for White Sands. Where are we at for time?
I think that's a good place to wrap up this episode.
Okay, sounds great.
So why don't we call it here? Again,
Perfect.
guys, read the description for answers to all of your questions, like where to find Fixxitt and where to find the texture pack and all that kind of stuff. You can find it all in the description. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.